no chance to bring anyone back like we saw on Mount Ventoux there. All the climbers that are racing for the podium here and the win at the Tour de France, they got to be all in on the last climb.
And it's not just a summit finish tomorrow. Summit finish the next day as well.
Yeah, back to back. But I'm really looking at tomorrow, like you said. I mean, tomorrow is, I think, one of the best opportunities. High altitude as well, 7,500 feet at the top of the Portet. It's a hard climb. We've seen it before. And high altitude riders, I think, could do something tomorrow. Rigo, Carapaz, they have to take advantage of that.
And stage 18 is short by professional standards. We're talking 80 miles with a summit finish, so it's going to be explosive throughout the whole stage and then just drilling it all the way to the top. If you have a bad moment, a lot of time can be gained on those two mountains with everyone having such fresh legs.
Should be a fun day tomorrow to watch. Join us tomorrow morning right here on NBCSN, stage 17, 1 hour earlier tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern time. As we discussed here, the first of 2 consecutive mountain stages, summit finishes for both of them. With just 5 days left on the tour, the opportunities to put pressure on the yellow jersey are running out. Going to be quite a show tomorrow. A reminder to log on to NBCSports.com for our continuing coverage of the 108th Tour de France. Quite a ride today for Patrick Conrad. Went out by himself with 23 miles left, and he didn't trail again. 29-year-old Austrian winning for the first time at the Tour de France. No damage at the top. Tadej Pogacar still with a lead of over 5 minutes on his closest rivals. That will be put to the test tomorrow in the Pyrenees. We hope you can join us tomorrow morning.
Just 9 days and change away from the opening ceremony at the Tokyo Olympics. And before we can get to majestic Japan, USA Basketball has a lot of work to do in Las Vegas. Losses inside Mandalay Bay at Michelob Ultra Arena to Nigeria and Australia. Not how USA envisioned things starting off, but they have another chance to get back on the right track with a game against Argentina this afternoon. NBC Sports proudly presents another production of USA Basketball. And we welcome you inside Michelob Ultra Arena, folks. USA taking on Argentina for tune-up number 3 for both teams here in Vegas. Hi, folks. Welcome courtside Kevin Dano alongside USA 3x3 national team head coach and 2008 Olympic gold medalist Kara Lawson. And Kara, is it time for a sense of urgency to creep in for USA after a couple of losses?
Absolutely. I think it is. I mean, this is a team that is still in its early stages of growing, but there absolutely needs to be a sense of urgency. The outcomes have not been what they wanted them to be the last 2 games. The mission remains the same, though. The mission is to be good enough to win a gold medal in a couple weeks, and that's what this team needs to focus on. They're going to face a tough Argentinian side. I think they'll challenge them in many ways, but to me, hope is not lost for the U.S. men's national team. They just have to focus on continuing to grow, and for me, I think it's on the defensive end.
Well, it was a loss, 91-83 to Australia last night. After the game, this is what head coach Greg Popovich and Damian Lillard had to say about the defeat.
The first half and the second half were 2 different beasts. In the first half, we defended the way we wanted to defend, the way we did not defend against Nigeria. We were more physical. We sustained the defense longer. We rebounded better. We moved the ball better at the offensive end and had more pace. In the second half, we tired out.
It's also not the first time that I've seen Team USA be tested. You know, maybe not beat 2 times in a row, but I've seen it before. And like you said, these other teams and these other countries just continue to improve. These players, they get better, they get more confident, and they also, you know, they want to beat us badly. So it's definitely noticeable when you're on the floor.
Well, if USA Basketball wants to make it 1-2 in Las Vegas, they'll need another good game out of Damian Lillard, who, Kara, was much better in Game 2 than he was in Game 1.
Well, he's talked about how this is his first time playing the international game, and so how he's going to continue to get more and more comfortable. I felt like he looked it in Game 2. He looked more comfortable. All these guys have to learn where can they pick their spots to be aggressive. I thought Dame, he's a terrific shooter. Some of that was as he made shots that he missed in Game 2. But when you look at his ability, I think it continues to be an important part on the offensive end. Kevin Durant's another player that upped his level on the offensive end against Australia. He's going to be the best player. He is the best player on the U.S.'s team. Is going to have to carry the load offensively.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for USA basketball. Up next is Argentina, a side that is ranked 4th in the world according to FIBA. And Kara, they are led by the 10-year NBA veteran Luis Scola, the ageless wonder at 41 years young.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch Luis Scola, part of that golden generation in Argentina, and all of the experience that he's amassed, the competitiveness and what he's able to do. He does it a little bit slower these days, but he still has all of the smarts, all of the skills, ability to step outside and make the three-point shot, and the competitiveness. This is a proud basketball nation, Argentina, so you can expect them to come out with a great game plan and a great deal of confidence going against the USA.
They're led by Sergio Hernandez, the head coach who has more than a dozen years of experience in the Argentinian league. As we take a look at his starting lineup, brought to you by Nike. 4 guys with NBA experience, with the exception of Marcos D'Elia in that starting 5. Meanwhile, for Team USA, it'll look like this. Levine, Durant, Adebayo back in the starting lineup alongside Beal and Lillard. And important note here, Kara, no Jason Tatum today.
No Jason Tatum today. And so what does that mean? That means more opportunities for guys like Zach LaVine, Jeremy Grant, even Keldon Johnson, who's not a part of the national team but training. I thought he gave some good minutes in the first half to the U.S. last night against Australia. So we'll see some more of those players in the absence of Tatum.
We are ready to rumble here in Las Vegas. Game 3 of 5 for Team USA. Get ready for the Olympics, and that's the way to start off game number 3. There's Facundo Campazzo, NBA fans remember him from his days with the Denver Nuggets. Just had his rookie season in the NBA. Scola misses. In transition, the leading bounce pass a little too far from Lillard to Beal.
Well, this is what you hope to see from Bam Adebayo as the tournament goes along. He needs to weaponize his athleticism at that center position. That's his advantage. It might not be size in most matchups against Tokyo, but it is the athleticism and rolling hard and elevating above the rim. That's something I think we need to see more of from Bam.
He's got it right here. Had the first 2 dunks of the game against Nigeria on Saturday. His face-up jumper a little strong over Scola. Brusino, a magician with the basketball. Really has some nifty passes to a lot of his teammates. Great work right there. Tic-tac-toe to Leah to Scola inside.
Yeah, capitalizing on the switch. Bradley Beal on Scola. Excellent job. Quick passing.
Durant a 3. That's good. Early 3-point lead for USA. Campazzo, great rookie year with the Nuggets. Flips it inside to Leo. A nice finish. Of course, it was Argentina back in 2004 that knocked USA out of gold medal contention with a win in the semifinals. Adebayo finishes his second bucket in close. Scola at 25 against Australia on Saturday. The spin move defended well by KD. There's Lillard. Oh, good contest. Campazzo forces him to give it up. Durant, 2 for 2 from downtown.
That's a beautiful possession all the way around. 4 guys touch the basketball, and Bam does a good job of getting it to KD on the wing.
Campazzo with it. A little more than 2 minutes gone by. Brusino. Sticking with the Argentinians. Campazzo contested. Durant. Beal on the pull-up. That's good. A really nice start offensively for USA.
Yeah, tempo, aggressive, looking to pass ahead and transition. That's got to be a big part of how this team plays. It's just looking to use their athleticism in the open court.
And Levine read the pass perfectly. The Chicago Bulls stand out, sets up KD. Adebayo with the tip. A new 14 here. Good ball movement again. Durant. flies in. Lillard cashes it in. And a quick timeout from Argentina. Great start for USA.
Already out of the blocks, we see a different level of focus. That's what 2 losses will do to you. You come out focused and ready. And a barrage of threes here in the first quarter. Kevin Durant helping to lead the way with that. The ball movement, the intensity, the aggressiveness. This was the best possession, I think, so far of the first quarter. Excellent job just moving the basketball around. And then Damian Lillard picking up where he left off in the first half against Australia. U.S. knocking it down.
Get ready to take on summer with new iced drinks at Dunkin', like a full-bodied and smooth Sunrise Batch coffee, a refreshing lemonade with strawberry-flavored popping bubbles, or a smoked vanilla cold brew with sweet cold foam. Start summer in with a $2 medium iced Sunrise Batch coffee. America runs on Dunkin'.
Whoever made this weird nugget gave up hope. But whoever made Arby's new 100% chicken breast nuggets really cares. A lot. The most. 2 for $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
The City of Lights beckons as the tour reaches its stunning climax. The Tour de France on NBCSN and Peacock.
The next chapter in Team USA basketball starts now. USA men's and women's basketball takes on Australia on NBCSN.
What do we all have in common? We are colleagues, family members, numbers on a spreadsheet. But what are you beyond the labels placed upon you by others? Are you a contender, an adventurer, a wanderer, an escapist? Whatever you are, be that. Kumho Tire.
A crisp start for the United States, and what I love about it is how decisive they've been on the offensive end. The ball movement, the understanding, the awareness of where each other are. Now, it helps that you're paying them off with made three-point shots, but, the first game, there was a little bit of indecision, just learning how to mesh with one another. And even last night, Greg Popovich talked about in the second half just kind of ran out of gas. Tonight, it's been sharp. They've been sharp and decisive, and it's been good to see.
6 of 9 from the field to start, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc for USA. And Kara, you know the Olympic pressure that there is. It's one thing to play in the NBA Finals. It's another thing to represent your country. What is that pressure like?
Well, it's unique because, these players are used to playing the series. And so you can afford an off game in the NBA Finals. I mean, it's not what you hope, but you have an opportunity to get it back. And in the international format, as we know, it's just that one game. And so there's a lot of pressure on playing well. And all of these players have that ability, but they still haven't, most of them haven't done it yet. And that's going to be a challenge as they move forward.
Beal with the ball, a first-time Olympian. Adebayo set the screen for him, a first-time Olympian. Lillard, a first-time Olympian, all on the floor right now, along with first-time Olympian Levine. KD has that experience. 30 points in 2 gold medal games. 3 to shoot. Bradley, Beal, it looked pretty. A 12-point lead for USA. Rolled inside to Scola. Played in the NBA from 2007 to 17, and that face-up game is still very good. Durant turns it over. Campazzo leading the break. Down the lane, scoops it up and in. 4 straight for the number 4 ranked team in the world. He'll cut in backdoor. Great off-ball movement here from USA, and it sets up a Bam jumper. Good possession from USA despite the miss. Campazzo way off kilter there. Levine, first time All-Star this last season. Beal wide open. And gets the friendly roll.
Again, it's that pace and transition. We're looking to attack. Zach Levine does an excellent job of getting into the lane, getting 2 feet in the paint, and then kicking it. the spacing's been good, and obviously the three-point shooting's been on target.
Fifth three of the game already for USA. Patricio Garino, former Orlando Magic player, hits the jumper. Played 5 games with the Magic 4 years back. Lillard rolling it off to Anabao. Quick double from Campazzo. Levine bombs away. It's good.
Yeah, he looks a lot more comfortable in this game than I've seen him in the first 2 games. And maybe that's a function of being in the starting lineup. Maybe that's a function of just getting used to the international style.
Second 12-point lead of the game for USA, their largest lead of this exhibition series. Garino can't finish down low. Good outlet to Durant, leaking behind and flushing it through. And really, Kara, this is where USA can get teams at the Olympics in transition.
Yeah, I mean, it's the athleticism advantage that they have in a lot of positions. And that's why it's important that they do push the pace, even off of makes, just pushing it up. And so many different guys that can have the ball at the point of attack. I mean, here's their center coming in at the point of attack.
And a beautifully threaded pass to the cutting Lillard for 2.
We see a lot of that down in Miami with the Heat, right? I mean, Bam, they use him. Eric Spoelstra uses him as the point guard a lot of times.
He averages 5.5 assists per game this past season with Miami.
And we talked about the spacing and the ball movement and the decisiveness. And, you know, there were a few possessions the last couple games where I thought there was 1 pass too many or 2 passes too many, and no one was taking a shot. I mean, that's the balance you have to find as an offensive player is when are you aggressive and when are you going to pull back a little bit? And we have a Kevin Love sighting. Did not see him in last night's game.
Kara, to your point, is that just kind of a function of feeling each other out, the too many passes?
I think they're really working hard to be unselfish, and so you want to move the ball, and that's something that Greg Popovich and his coaching staff have really impressed upon this team of moving the ball, and so you got to get that rhythm, and that takes time. It's not something you can just talk about. It's something you have to actually go through in the games to figure out what the right amount of aggression is.
Campazzo lays it in. Green looking backdoor, stolen away by Brusino. Pulls up in transition. Taps it right to his head coach, Sergio Hernandez. Kevin Love alongside Keldon Johnson, who's been called up from the select squad that practices against the Olympic team. And also in Darius Garland, also part of that select squad. Had a great year with the Cleveland Cavaliers, averaging more than 17 per game in his second NBA season. Gabriel Dekin almost stole it. Number of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Garland, nice as he. Oh, can't quite stick the pull up. Luka Vildozo signed a contract in May with the New York Knicks. Coming over from ACB, one of the top leagues worldwide in Spain. Campazzo missing. Lillard on the handoff. Johnson, a great screen. Hopefully, Campazzo's okay. Doesn't look to be. Jogs back. With a hard screen. Vildoza fouled by Johnson.
He got tagged pretty hard. Looks like he's gonna step out. I mean, similar to Aaron Baines, that collision had last night, and didn't play the rest of the game. What a gritty win by Australia last night.
Australia 2-0. They defeated Argentina on a buzzer beater from Patty Mills, Kara, who was fantastic against USA again. The Leah running hook in the lane doesn't drop. Garland almost sped himself up a little too much. Ducks the closeout. Great look to Draymond Green and a foul.
Really skilled. Darius Garland attacks the closeout and the help up and the quick pass to Draymond Green before Argentina can rotate. what a great opportunity this is for the select team. And, you look at someone like Darius Garland, who is getting an opportunity to practice and to play every day with some of the best players in the NBA as a young player. An incredible opportunity. He fits right in. He's not intimidated. He's very skilled. And that's an example of an excellent play, utilizing his speed and his athleticism, his craftiness to create an easy shot for a teammate.
E. Keldon Johnson, Sadiq Bey of the Detroit Pistons, Josh Majette, Dakota Mathias, John Jenkins, all called up. Cam Reynolds from the select team for these exhibition contests. Draymond Green completes the three-point play. Nicolas Laprovitola has checked in. This is where Deck likes it. Back to the basket. The smaller defender on his back. Turns around into the lane and finishes. Gabriel Deck with his first bucket. Deal. Attacking Tashevek Galisi, who commits the crime. Number 83 in white picks up his first personal.
Fouls on Argentina is number 9.
USA very efficient from downtown, 6 for 8. Shot 36% from the stripe in the loss to Australia. It's Love. Vildoza transition triple and he knocks it down. This Argentinian side's not going to go away. Deck gets the inbounds pass on the steal. Scoop it home. Well, great outlet passer. Beal underneath. Too easy. Shot clock off for Argentina. Deep three for Laprovitola. Tapped out Brusino to Laprovitola to beat the buzzer. Does not go. And a great first quarter for USA basketball after losses to Australia and Nigeria. Starting this one off with a bang. Got it started with an Adebayo flush. 6 threes in the first quarter for USA. They lead Argentina 33-19 in Las Vegas.
No, he's not in his room. Dad, why didn't you answer your phone?
Your mother loved this park.
She did.
Where does Caleb Dressel draw his power? Is it from what we can see on the surface? Or from something deep within?
The Open Championship has stood the test of time. Once again, Americans will begin their day watching the Open and the best in the world. The Open Championship on NBC and Golf.
Unlock a summer of possibilities in a new Chevy. Expand your options and your perspective. Find your next adventure in a new Chevy.
Enjoy the open road and make no monthly payments for the rest of the summer on select popular Chevy SUVs. Plus, get interest-free financing for 72 months when you finance with GM Financial. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
There is a better place for all of us. Oregon. Awesome, stick your hands up where the sun don't shine.
Stick my hands up my butt?
What? That is what you said. It's my first time sticking somebody up. I'm very nervous.
Miracle Workers, Oregon Trail, premieres tonight at 10:30 on TBS.
Through its
Welcome back into pre-Olympic basketball. I'm Zora Stevenson. The USA is up 33-19. I'm joined now by assistant coach Lloyd Pierce. Coach, you all started with a 15-4 run. What role did ball movement play in those opening minutes?
It was, the guys did a great job. I thought more than anything, our pace after misses, getting the ball off the rim, kicking it ahead, and being able to play with some pace. Once we do that, their defense isn't set. We can get downhill, get into the paint, and that extra pass mentality has been great. Obviously, the ball's going in tonight, so everyone's feeling a little bit better.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you, Zora. Thank you, Coach Pierce. And Kara, you gotta like this stat that Zora asked Coach Pierce about. 12 assists on 13 made shots.
Yep, and that was similar to what they had in the first half yesterday. And so, for this team, they have had stretches where they've looked really good, and they've been too few and far between over the course of the 40-minute game. And so the challenge for the USA is not necessarily, you can't expect to shoot 6 for 9 from threes every quarter, but can they keep up with that pace? Can they keep up with that defensive attention to detail? That's what I'm looking for in the next 3 quarters.
A bucket and a stop for Argentina to start the second frame. Luca Vildosa looking to post up Deck. Knocked away. He's doubled by Garland and Beal. Knocked out of play. Staying with Argentina. 2004 gold medalists. Getting the gold. Beating Italy in 2004 after knocking off USA and then finishing the bronze medal in 2008. Part of that golden generation that Kara touched on at the Open. Manu Ginobili, Luis Scola, Fabrizio Alberto and company, Andres Nocioni. There's a foul. That's going on Tasha Bectolizzi. That's his second. Battling with Love, and there could be a big role for Kevin Love in the Olympics when you think about defensively. You don't need to leave the paint. No defensive 3 seconds. He's a great rebounder. He can bring a lot to USA in Tokyo.
Oh, he also gives you the element of the three-point shot.
Yep.
And he's been becoming a really good shooter from beyond the arc.
Great outlet passer as well. Beal almost lost it. Keldon Johnson, not sure he was expecting it. Well, missed it. Got a shot out of it, and then a travel on Juan Pablo Ballet. So staying with Team USA here.
A little more pressure, a little more physicality from Argentina out of that quarter break. And how does the U.S. handle it?
Johnson will throw it in here. Beal spinning, lost it, but got fouled. So Bradley Beal will go to the line for 2.
Fouls on Argentina, number 17, Luca Vildosa. It's his second team foul.
Bradley doing an excellent job of just attacking the pressure. Isolate him on that side with Kevin Love, and he just goes one-on-one.
Finished second in the league in scoring this past year, and Garrett more efficient in his second game than he was in his first.
Oh, he's a brilliant scorer. And, obviously I sat courtside for a couple of years watching him in Washington. He finds a way, whether he's feeling good or not feeling good, or whether he's getting double teamed or trapped, he finds a way to get to the rim and lead his team from the scoring standpoint. And that's going to be a pivotal part of him making shots, him making three-point shots, and then certainly the defensive end. All these guards for the USA are going to have to play at a high level defensively for this team to win the gold.
A 2-touchdown lead for USA as Luca Vildosa puts it up. Gabriel Deck showing off his strength inside. Works his way to the line off the offensive rebound.
Fouls on USA basketball's number 11, Kevin Love. First personal, first team foul.
Gabriel Deck coming over late in the season from Real Madrid, finishing the last 10 games of the regular season with Oklahoma City. Free throws for Deck. 10 games with the Thunder, 82% from the charity stripe. Argentinian League MVP, Finals MVP there. Broke down.
USA Basketball, number 5, Zach Levine back in. Also checking in, number 9, Jeremy Grant.
I see Jeremy Grant in for the first time. He started yesterday's game against Australia and an unceremonious start for him to this one, throwing it away.
Oh, he talks about the pressure. That Argentina decides to bring that pressure full court and forces a turnover on the inbounds. They brought 2 players to deny Bradley Beal the basketball.
Good ball movement for USA, but Kara, that's already the 7th turnover. What does USA need to do to better handle that pressure as Deck misses the turnaround jumper?
Turnovers, some of them are unforced, and you just got to understand that Argentina is going to be in the passing lanes. They've got some guys with great length in terms of the backdoor cut that Lillard had there in the first quarter. That was a turnover as well. And just be smarter with it. Keep their spacing. That helps you.
Well, good spacing there as Durant gets fouled on a 3 off a feed from Beal. Juan Pablo Daulet has his hands on his hips after that foul.
Third and team foul.
Teams that pressure you, that's where the spacing becomes really important because it's harder to pressure everyone to space out on the court, and the windows are a little bit wider when you make back cuts or when you have drives that you get 2 feet in the paint. It's easier to see everything with that spacing. This is an active defensive team, Argentina. They're going to look to get deflections and look to get their hands on the basketball.
Their guards really love the pressure of the basketball, as you mentioned earlier. Kevin Durant missed the first, hit the second. He's got one more. That's just fantastic in the playoffs with the Brooklyn Nets this year. A foot on the line away from sending them to the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's not Provitola. Deck posting up Levine. Turning over left shoulder, fading away and finishing. Jeremy Grant, a little strong. Argentina in transition. Good look inside. Khaleesi sent packing by Jeremy Grant from behind.
He gets beat, but does a great job of getting himself back into the play. On his ability defensively, versatility, obviously the athleticism, full display on that block.
Averaged a career-high 22 per game with the Detroit Pistons this year, but like you mentioned, Kara, really going to be called on for his defense with USA in Tokyo. Been a second in most improved player voting this past year. Signing a nice 3-year deal with the Pistons. They go back to Deck. It's been a lot of the offense thus far. Him posting up on that left block, and you can see why. Spinning off Levine and smooching it home.
It's been effective. They've attacked the switch in that manner. The U.S. switching 1 through 5, and a lot of times the guard is ending up on Deck, and he has made USA pay.
Keldon Johnson's second attempt on the tip. USA kind of holding serve here in the second. They're up 14 after 1, leading by 12. Luis Scola has a great back-to-the-basket game. La Provitola, a deep 3. He spins it in. 39-30. USA's lead down to single digits in Las Vegas.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Okay, at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones. Let me break it down. You got your new customers. They get our best deals. You got your existing customers. They also get our best deals. Everyone gets the deals. Questions?
Got it. But why did you use a permanent marker?
Because I want to make sure you remember. I'm going to get a new whiteboard.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on every smartphone, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free.
Klay Thompson's out for the year. I don't even know what to say.
There's no precedent for a comeback like this. But the odds never stopped us before. No matter what the next day brings, we get up. We have to keep pushing forward, no matter how far we've been pushed back.
We give game day a whole new meaning.
USA Basketball versus Argentina is brought to you by Nike. Play new.
Bradley Beal off to a hot start offensively for the USA. And came out with great aggression, knocking down the three-point shot, and the U.S. started hot from beyond the arc in that first quarter. It's also attacked really well, played with more pace in transition. You see him running the floor there. Fumbles the ball a little bit, but is still able to finish. So last night in the first half, it was Damian Lillard that had the hot hand. Tonight, it's Bradley Beal.
Has not missed. That's as hot can get. 4 for 4 for 12 points. The Argentinians have made some inroads here. Garrett, what have you noticed as being the difference between quarters 1 and 2 thus far?
I think the aggressiveness of the Argentinian defense. And I think that's put the USA on their heels a little bit. And, some turnovers, and they haven't quite had the same flow. You have to credit. I mean, the game's about adjustments, right? I mean, the USA comes out, hits 6 threes in that first quarter, and has a hot start. Argentina has to do something to try and break that rhythm and make it a little bit more difficult for them. And as a result, on the offensive end, they started to get better looks as well.
3 of 5 for USA Basketball at Michelob Ultra Arena. They will also take on Australia one more time as Adebayo misses. That'll be on the 16th, and then the Spanish national team will be here on the 18th before USA will go to Japan. Provitola going to deck. Trying to post up Scola. A swarm of USA defenders on Scola, and he gets fouled.
I love how patient they've been in looking to try and exploit the switches. There, Durant comes over to help out Lillard, who has the mismatch with Luis Scola there in the paint. And Scola stays patient with it and is able to get himself to the free throw line. I didn't think Australia handled attacking the switches very well until the second half a night ago. And Argentina has got it figured out here in the second quarter.
Getting ready for his 5th Olympic Games, Luis Scola. He was asked recently about how long he will play. He said, when will it end? In a year after the Olympics. This was said last November. He said, only then will I decide what to do. I could stay involved in basketball, but not as a coach. Eventually only for young players. So hasn't quite made up his mind on whether he will continue to play. But at 41 years old, we are seeing potentially the end of the road for Luis Scola. A great professional career of 25 years for him. He misses both free throws and stays at 9. We're going to get a whistle, and the shot clock's at 23. It took more than 1 second to get it across half court. Let's see how far they move it down. Officials today: Ahmed Yassin, Hector Sanchez, and Lauren Nimera. I'll bump it down to 5:49 and 22. Sandro Bomano into the game. Goes under the screen, and Damian Lillard makes it pay.
I would advise against that. That's a strategy moving forward, going under the screen on Lillard.
He hit 6 threes and lost to Australia. It's one there. USA staying hot from beyond the arc. Francisco Caffaro tries to save it in. Plays college ball at Virginia.
quick and easy rate. I wonder if Dame was surprised that he went under. I mean, just an easy. I mean, that's a layup for Lillard.
Way too easy. 39% from three with Portland this last year. He was third in the league in scoring. Gets up a lot of attempts and hits some deep threes as well. Officials gonna take a look at something here.
Previous play is under official review.
Previous play under review. Here's what they're looking at. They're looking to see if this is going to be an unsportsmanlike foul. Now, there's kind of 5 different scenarios in which an unsportsmanlike foul could be called. It would be 2 free throws in the basketball for USA. One of those instances, not a legitimate attempt to directly play the ball within the spirit and intent of the rule, and unnecessary contact caused by the defensive player in order to stop the progress of the offensive team in transition. So Laprovitola potentially committing an unsportsmanlike foul here. That's according to the FIBA rulebook. Those definitions. He really didn't try to play the ball. Look, Tara, as they get used to kind of a new rulebook, how much of an adjustment is that to go from NBA to or WNBA to FIBA rules?
A little bit of an adjustment. I would say it's probably a bit more severe for the U.S. men's national team than it is for the U.S. women's national team, because remember, a lot of the players in the WNBA and the U.S. women's national team play overseas in the offseason and play the FIBA rules, and so there's some familiarity there with them, whereas a lot of the players on the U.S. men's national team don't play, haven't played overseas before, as we take a look at kind of the rules comparison between FIBA and the NBA. And, you know, the touching the ball on or above the cylinder, I think, to me, that can be one of the more impactful ones.
Yes.
That's a little bit different.
Do you like that rule?
Man, I couldn't get up with there anyway. It didn't affect me at all. Are you kidding me? I didn't care if you could touch it or not. I wasn't touching it ever.
I do think it adds some excitement for sure. Another live ball scenario. Now, you can't touch the rim when you go up to knock it off the rim. Zach Levine, they just called it a common foul. He was shooting free throws because Argentina's put USA in the bonus. 13-point lead. Argentina's only chipped 1 point off that 14-point first quarter deficit. Laprovitola trying to work his way around Draymond Green, isn't going to be able to do it. Let's Durant fly by. Open looking. Laprovitola, the former San Antonio Spur, makes him dead. Played for Coach Pop for 18 games a few years back. Defensive miscommunication. Lillard unable to connect. 7 threes made already for USA. Still 3 for Argentina. After that Laprovitola miss. Good hustle by Durant, but ran out of real estate.
I certainly love the hustle from both Levine and Durant on this play.
We'll stay with Leandro Bolmaro and friends. Has a nice handle. First-round draft pick of Minnesota. Expected to come over from the ACB this coming season. Where he spent last year. Great touch pass to Levine. Double clutching it down on the jam.
There's that pace we talked about, the pass ahead in transition. I mean, that's been the best part, I think, of this game so far for the U.S. on the offensive end. Is just pushing the basketball off of makes, off of misses, passing ahead, getting it to players that can make quick decisions. KD, the one with the quick decision, the touch pass to Levine.
Levine showing off his athleticism, 2-time slam dunk champion. This time from beyond the arc. Laprovitola working on Adebayo. drops it off beautifully to Caparo, and he will go to the line for two. Patricio Garino on your screen. He'll check back in.
United States, third team foul.
Third team foul on USA. Two free throws for Caparo. Again, plays his college ball in the States at Virginia. Redshirted the year the Cavaliers won the national championship. It's about 7-8 minutes per game for Tony Bennett. Caparo knocks them both down. Subs on the floor. It'll be Beal, Adebayo, Lillard, Green, and Durant for USA. Delia, La Provitola, Bolmaro, alongside Scola and Garino for Argentina. Nice screen by Draymond, and Lillard again from downtown.
Again, you go under the screen, and he's going to make you pay as soon as he crosses the half court. Dame has that kind of range.
It's his third three of the game, 8th of the contest overall for USA and head coach Greg Popovich. Scola falls. Garino trying to drag the pivot foot, but a foul first.
A lot of times, screen high up on the floor, you will go under. I mean, that's the play. That's the strategy, what you talk about. But I don't know that you can afford to go under on this guy.
Yeah, because Lillard, as he's shown, he can hit where he got screened, where he got the screen. He can hit from that distance as it is. Scola showing off his downtown range. He hit 4 threes against Australia on Saturday. It's called for the foul there.
Luis Scola, a nice pick and pop. And Bradley Beal just there, count late on the challenge.
And playing in his 5th Olympics. Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird for USA women's basketball playing in their 5th Olympics coming up. You can see the USA women here in Las Vegas coming up on Friday and Sunday. They take on the Nigerian women's national team as well as Australia's women's national team. We are at the home court, home arena of the Las Vegas Aces. Free throw's good for Draymond. Provitola gets bumped to the deck by Bam. That'll be the 5th team foul on USA, so free throws for La Provitola.
Yeah, he's done a solid job. Campazzo goes out with that injury and has come in and has really done a good job of getting into the paint, being patient, and creating havoc. And Campazzo, either love him or you hate him watching him. In Denver, he's a pest. Just delightful, though, in how he sees the game, his vision for the game, and how he's his style, too. I think that's what draws you to him, is that he passes with such a flair.
One of those guys, you'd hate if he's going up against you. You'd love to have him as a teammate. La Provitola splitting the pair. Foul on Bolmaro. More free throws coming up. This time it'll be Lillard to the stripe.
He didn't try to go under that screen that time.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Not that time. He got tagged with the foul.
I guess giving up 2 free throws is better than giving up an open 3 to Damian Lillard. He is very dangerous at the line. One of the few people who don't dribble the basketball at the foul line. No wasted motion. Puts it up and in. 93% from the stripe with the Trailblazers this year. Garino lost it. Numbers for USA in transition, just a little behind Beal. Great effort by Bradley. Argentina now with the advantage. Delia backing down on Draymond. Draymond bothered the shot. Durant. Carino played him as well as he can. Forces a tough shot. Vitola dribbling into the three.
Come on.
It's Adebayo. Beal tees one up. Ahead to Garino. Open look at a three. That's good. Splashing it down, Patricio Garino. And Argentina within 10. It was a 14-point lead for USA after one. Argentina hanging tough here in the second. Garino has Argentina within 52-42 with 1:16 to go in the first half.
Okay, Sabrina, I see you. Where do you want this at, Chris? Wait, what?
Is this one of your State Farm commercials?
Yeah, sure is.
Jake from State Farm?
Did they not send you all the scripts? No. Chris smiles and says, wow, I love State Farm. Surprisingly great rates. And suddenly Chris and Sabrina turn into life-size cardboard cutouts. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have.
We're delivering for the Earth by investing in more electric vehicles, reusable packaging, and carbon capture research, making Earth our priority.
I thought I'd seen it all.
This is Red Bull 3X. We're stopping in your city to see who can really hoop on the half court. Red Bull 3X is your chance to earn a spot on the USA Basketball 3-on-3 national team. Sign up today.
Welcome back to pre-Olympic basketball. I'm Zora Stevenson. A few minutes ago, Kevin and Kara were talking about the differences between FIBA and NBA rules, and I'm just going to dive a little bit deeper. In addition to building some camaraderie here at training camp and adding in sets and schemes, the guys are also adjusting to how the game is called. Zach LaVine got a head start and put some work in before training camp.
Right, goddamn ball there. Or you're going to be like really low and push the flag. You have to tell it to the referee, like, you cannot be just doing this.
Zach was just trying to familiarize himself with that first step. It's a lot different in international basketball. I was also talking to Bam Adebayo about the rules, and he chuckled and said, in the NBA, you can kind of get away with the travel, but not here. And then, interestingly enough, Damian Lillard was saying his adjustments are coming on the defensive end. Kevin and Kara, he was saying he could be a bit more physical with his body, but he noticed not so much the hand. Feels like pulling that.
Thank you, Zora. And that's a good point you bring up. Be a little more physical in FIBA basketball. And that's the reason why you have these 5 tune-up games to kind of get yourself into that lather, getting ready for FIBA basketball for when it counts in Tokyo. 12-point lead after that last bucket. Raptor beat to a block by Jeremy Grant. Wow, he gets off the ground quickly. Chance for a 2 for 1. Draymond Green fakes the pass. This is what he does with Golden State so well, and he jams it down. Draymond Green all the way to the hoop and the lead just like that. Back up to 14 for USA.
This is tomorrow. Tomorrow, very early, someone will go on her first ever run. Right after, Shelly-Ann will run the 100 in under 10 seconds. By lunchtime, a shoe will grow from a seed. The WNBA will surpass surpass the NBA in popularity. This tennis legend will launch her own video game. Also, tomorrow, we will all finally respect athletes' mental health. A woman will run a marathon on Mars. Tomorrow, we will celebrate new champions. And one sport is declared a human right, tomorrow will go really crazy. Marie Antoinette will score 7 in 7 minutes. Guy will land a 16-20. LeBron will score 120, and I don't know what this is, but it looks amazing. Of course, the internet will break. Well done, tomorrow. Can't wait to see what's next.
A 14-point lead for USA deep in the first half, and Kara, it has been a hot shooting start here for USA.
The first quarter set the tone, and the pace that they've played with, and certainly knocking down those open three-point shots. Just a much better flow, and that's what you would expect. I mean, you want this to be a build. You want this to be an improvement, and you want the trajectory of this team to be, on the upswing as they go into Tokyo. And there's no question. Listen, you can't deny that those two losses have been painful, and that they've been frustrating, and that this group believes that they should win those games. At the same time, they have to understand that they've got to worry about getting better each day and finding that chemistry. And from game 1 to game 2, I saw improvement. From game 2 to game 3, I saw improvement. Now they need to register that improvement to affect the outcome of the game, which is changing those losses to wins.
Stop out of the timeout on the turnover. Durant over Scola to end the first half on the step back. The hot shooting continues. USA ends the first half 20 of 36 from the field. Much better than 50%. A 16-point lead after 20 minutes for USA.
Great way to close the half. Put the ball in the hands of your best player and let him do work against Luis Scola and Kevin Durant with an exclamation point to a solid first half for the United States.
And now Kevin Durant is joined by our Zora Stevenson.
Kevin, after a hot start in that first quarter, it seemed like Argentina added some pressure in the second quarter. How do you feel like you all responded to it and then extended the lead?
We responded great. I mean, we still kept our defense intact. We didn't let them cut the lead into the single digits, and we're not going to make shots all the time, but if we continue to guard the way we are, then it'll start to turn for us on offense.
Assistant coach Lloyd Pierce was talking about how impressive the pace was in that first half. What fuels this team's ability just to get out and run?
Well, we keep the ball in front and we get stops and rebound, then we pretty much can play with a clean slate, open slate on the offensive side of the ball. If we don't get stops, then we got to set up our offense, run, a lot of different sets, and guys are better when they're playing free and loose, so we got to get stops in order for us to do that.
Thanks so much for the time, Kevin. USA basketball is up at the half. Kevin talked about it, defense being the key. Coach Puck has emphasized it all training camp.
Thank you, Zora. Thank you, KD. A 16-point lead for USA basketball over the number 4 team in the world, Argentina, 58-42 at the half. USA on top. Sweet dunk from Zach Levine. And we'll talk about the USA women's national team when we come back.
Why do I do it? Because I love the challenge? God, no. I do it for the beer.
Elevate the game. NBA Court Optics and Microsoft let you see the floor like Jason Tatum. He knows that if he drives into the paint, the help defender can slide over and block his shot. So what's the move? Fake the drive. Step back for 3. NBA Court Optics brings you inside the game.
I am a season no one saw coming. Not that it's a bad thing.
I'm ready.
I am something none of you expected. And each surprise leads to one heck of a summer. Because this year, to make the playoffs, you better win, or you're not in. And one thing is for sure this season, I am not certain what happens next. And neither are you. I am NASCAR.
Unlock a summer of possibilities in a new Chevy. Expand your options and your perspective. Find your next adventure in a new Chevy.
Enjoy the open road and make no monthly payments for the rest of the summer on select popular Chevy SUVs. Plus, get interest-free financing for 72 months when you finance with GM Financial. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
It's what 30 minutes of boot camp tastes like. Come on, Peloton. Let it flow. Reach all the way up.
Check your vibe. It's time to grind, Peloton. Let's turn it up. Come on.
What's up, hustlers? Welcome to Peloton Outdoors. Let's get jogging.
Find your rhythm, baby. 1, 2, 1, 2. So many Peloton newbies on the leaderboard today. Welcome to the family.
The Peloton bike starting at $49 a month. All access membership separate.
A 16-point lead for USA over Argentina at the half here at Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas, 58-42 over the Argentinians. Well, USA women's basketball will be coming to Las Vegas as they get ready for Tokyo. So let's get caught up on what the USA women's national team is up to.
Oh man, I love the Olympics because you're seeing the best of the best from around the world. Like you're seeing everyone that's doing exactly what they've been training for years, and they're all putting what they work so hard for, all on a huge stage. So definitely a special moment.
When you're representing a whole country and you're able to win a gold medal, nothing really competes with that, and that's like the ultimate goal.
There's really nothing like, holding up the trophy or getting a medal put around your neck, standing on the podium, having your national anthem played, and there's only one moment like it, that moment.
Everyone's going to try to come after USA. I mean, you're going to get everyone's best game night in and night out, so you kind of really have to have your guard up.
We're potentially going to win our 7th gold medal in a row. It's like potentially one of the greatest dynasties of all time.
USA women's basketball and USA men's basketball will be in action on Friday and Sunday. Australia taking on both the men's and women's teams on Friday, then the USA women against Nigeria on Sunday, followed by the USA men against Spain. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear from Las Vegas Aces great and U.S. Olympian Asia Wilson. 16-point lead for USA over Argentina at the half.
This is Red Bull 3X. We're stopping in your city to see who can really hoop on the half court. Red Bull 3X is your chance to earn a spot on the USA Basketball 3-on-3 national team. Sign up today.
Wendy's serves fresh, never frozen beef on every hamburger. That's why our Dave Single is so hot and juicy. But what if that Dave Single was buy one, get one for $1? And all these faves were too. Get any of these faves BOGO $1 only at Wendy's.
We give game day a whole new meaning.
This is Theragun by Therabody, the percussive therapy device that has been the secret of professional trainers, weekend warriors, and all-star athletes looking to get to their next level. Visit Theragun.com. Change the way you move.
For 161 years, the Open Championship has stood the test of time, spanning eras and generations.
From my hometown,
Once again, Americans will begin their day watching the Open and the best in the world as they compete on the links. The Open Championship on NBC and Golf.
They've spent their whole lives working, training, believing. But when that dream is delayed, it takes something more. Keep the dream alive. Donate now at teamusafund.org.
Welcome back to Pre-Olympic Basketball. I am joined now by Asia Wilson, 2020 WNBA MVP. We're on your home court right now. You just finished up practice. First-time Olympian. How was the experience today?
It's been great. It's crazy seeing a different floor in here, but I'm glad everyone can enjoy this right now here in Vegas. But we had a good first day and excited to get things going.
We were just talking with your South Carolina teammate, Alicia Gray. How excited are you for her that she gets to compete in the 3-on-3 tournament?
Oh, man, I'm super excited. I mean, that's best friend goals, and both of the friends are Olympians. So I love that for her. I'm just super excited that we can experience this together.
Asia, I've been meaning to ask you, is tea with A and Fee going to make its way to Tokyo?
Yes, 100%. There's going to be some tea, hot tea in Tokyo. We're so excited. Got to pack our podcast stuff and get things rolling.
Appreciate the time. Good luck with practice and training camp, and we look forward to covering you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so you heard it. Tea with A and Fee will be making its way to Tokyo. That is a podcast. Asia Wilson, an MVP, and she will become an Olympian in a few days. We'll be right back.
When we come back, highlights from the first half of USA's 58-42 lead over Argentina in Las Vegas.
You see the baby?
Yeah. How can we see her so clearly from here?
Oh, you found your dad's baby blanket.
How can I find almost anything?
You see that? Look at this one, guys.
Hey, how did you make that book so fast?
Hi, Algie. Good night.
Whoa. How did our home get so smart?
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Yee, classic beef and cheddar ham. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
Keeping your oyster business growing has you swamped. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/hire and get started today.
When you're the fastest man alive, people think you leave the world behind. But when you run together, the world moves with you.
I am a season no one saw coming. Because this year, to make the playoffs, you better win, or you're not in. I am not certain what happens next. And neither are you. I am NASCAR.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Unlock a summer of possibilities in a new Chevy. Expand your options and your perspective. Find your next adventure in a new Chevy.
Enjoy the open road and make no monthly payments for the rest of the summer on select popular Chevy SUVs. Plus, get interest-free financing for 72 months when you finance with GM Financial. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Jeremy Grant and USA getting ready for the start of the second half. At the half, they lead Argentina by 16, 58-42. Welcome courtside, folks. Kevin Down alongside Kara Lawson. And Kara, we've talked a lot about the USA women's national team here at halftime as they're going for another gold medal. Those things are to be expected for the U.S. women's national team. What's your take on this year's squad?
This year's squad has a nice blend of youth and experience. You're referencing the first half, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, their 5th Olympics, going for their 5th gold medal. But a lot of young players with an opportunity to have a big-time impact in the game. Brianna Stewart might be the best player in the world. And we talked with Asia Wilson, who's right up there as well, the MVP of last year's WNBA season. So I like where this group is. I think they have a chance, not a chance, I think they're the favorite, the heavy favorite to win their 7th straight gold medal for the USA in the Olympics, which is an amazing run of excellence and dominance. And, I'm looking forward to that. Their first practice today, so of course, head coach Dawn Staley, who was Asia Wilson's college coach at the University of South Carolina. That group will get together and get going. And I look forward to a big-time run for them in Tokyo.
Well, while the women go for their 7th straight gold, the men going for their 4th gold in a row, 2008, 2012, 2016, and now hopefully in 2020 in Tokyo. In the first half, a lot of good signs from Team USA, up by 16. What did you like the most out of that first half, Kara?
I thought the pace was really good. And, I thought Kevin Durant made a good point. When Argentina made a run and started to up their physicality in that second quarter, the USA stayed steady, and they were able to keep that lead, that double digits, and continue to attack. Certainly, the outside shooting was one of the highlights of that first half from beyond the arc. The amount of shooters that this team has, I think, is going to be a big benefit to it as they move over to the Olympic Games. You can see Damian Lillard getting more comfortable, Bradley Beal's getting more comfortable, Kevin Durant getting more comfortable. So all that are good signs. This is a better team than we saw last night, and certainly I think that's got to be the goal for this group. Every time out, just continue to grow and get better and better. And now, putting 2 halves together is the next lesson, right? The next step that they need to do, be able to carry over this type of intensity into the second half.
And that's something that we heard in the open from Coach Pop's presser last night after the loss to Australia. He said the team ran out of gas in the second half. So what's the key to getting that wind up, back-to-back games here, if you take a look at the first half stats, to really performing well in the second half?
Just keeping their head down in terms of pushing the basketball. I think the pace has just got to be important, whether it's off of misses, whether it's off of makes, just to continue to tell themselves, hey, we got to pass it up, we got to push it up. So much better. It flows so much better. The shot selection, it's a lot easier when they're playing with great pace on that end of the floor, and that's what they need to continue to do.
Very efficient first half for USA, 56% shooting, 8 of 14 from downtown, 15 assists against 8 turnovers. As we take a look, Coach Pop huddle, and 3 players on USA in double figures. Durant with 14, Lillard with 13, and Beal with 12. Those 3 combining for 39 of the 58 points. Bradley Beal coming over to give a little fist bump to our Kara Lawson. Those 2 very familiar with their time with the Washington Wizards. Lawson calling his games. Here we go. Second half underway. Levine trying to go backdoor. Defended well by the Argentinians, and there's a foul. Trying to fight through the screen. Gabriel Deck. Here at Michelob Ultra Arena inside Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, home of the Aces of the WNBA, having another great season. Kevin down alongside Kara Lawson and Zora Stevenson. Levine. Going inside to Adebayo. Bam. Back up and in.
What an initial catch by Bam in between 2 Argentina defenders, and then just to stay with it. He had the athleticism and the size advantage, but just to make that catch in traffic.
Kara, his hands are so good.
Zach LaVine got caught in the air. Thought he was going to take the shot, and then ended up passing to him. And watch this catch. Just snares it in between. Campazzo's right there as a help side defender. Strong mitts for Adebayo.
Good to see Campazzo back in there after getting banged up in the first half. This is Scola at the stripe. Missed a couple of free throws in the first half and almost missed that one. Scola played the last 2 years professionally in Italy. Very solid league. He's almost 18 a game in Italy this year. Still doing it in his 40s. Durant showing some great leadership here with USA in Game 3. Just a Beal runs it up and in. strong finish from Beal.
Yeah, he utilizes his strength advantage, but more importantly, the size advantage against Campazzo on that drive.
Maximo Fierro in for the first time, number 2 for Argentina. This is Vildoza. And Bam got it. Oh, nice handle. All the way to the rim. Durant caps him out. Durant with 17 in each of his first 2 games. He's got 17 already tonight. Scola trying to draw the foul, finished nicely off the glass and said, so crafty, Kara.
So a load down there. I mean, so difficult to stop. There's Luis Scola, but the player on the court that's the most difficult to stop is Kevin Durant.
Yep.
And he looks to make the extra pass and then realizes the size advantage that he has out there on the perimeter. And very composed. And you see Luis Scola. Some of the shots that he takes or that go in look improbable. People don't realize he's been doing that for 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, they're not improbable. That's just how he scores.
And playing professionally since he was a teenager. That's rattled down nicely by Bam Adebayo, 2020 All-Star. Campazzo threw it on the sideline. Bounced out of play, back to USA. Sergio Hernandez, too pleased with the way things are going thus far. Argentina to the Olympics before. Late clock for Levine and friends. And the Chicago Bull beats the buzzer, but defended well. Scola popping his way inside. Adebayo, look at him run the floor.
That's the great pace we talked about. I mean, Bam defends that possession. He's the lowest man on the court, underneath the rim, defending the Scola missed layup, and then sprints the right lane. And he's able to get an open layup for the U.S. on the other end of the floor. Again, I talked about him weaponizing his athleticism. I think it's really important that he does that. He does it on the defensive end pretty naturally. I think on the offensive end, he can continue to do things like this: out sprint, out jump, out-roll the offensive on the offensive end, the centers that he's going against. That's going to be what his advantage is when the team gets over to the Olympics. There it is.
Adebayo on the pick and roll. Can't finish that time. Nice pocket pass from Durant. Gabriel Deck gets to his spot and gets it to go down. Foul line, Jimmy Good for Gabriel Deck. And bam, you just mentioned it, Kara. Running the floor, throwing it down, beating everyone down the court. Well, that'll drive a coach crazy from the Argentinian side of things.
Sometimes it's just a function of someone being faster. And, Bam is faster than Scola. And so when he runs at his top speed, he's going to be able to beat him down the court.
Beal got the deflection, but it got through, and Vildoza hits the side of the backboard. Lillard. Bam. Fierro the other way. Pushing the pace off 1 foot. No, Vildoza flies in. The New York Knick. Up top, Facundo Campazzo missing. USA getting out in transition again.
Adebayo just running the floor out route, running Scola on that. And was able to continue to get the easy points and stretch out the lead for the USA. The passing, the shooting, running the floor. This is more like the team we thought we'd see.
They say this game can take you far.
How does it make
they never told you. How far you can take the game. Make moves that start movements. Hennessy, the spirit of the NBA.
Okay, at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones. Let me break it down. You got your new customers. They get our best deals. You got your existing customers. They also get our best deals. Everyone gets the deals. Questions?
Got it. But why did you use a permanent marker?
Because I want to make sure you remember. I'm going to get a new whiteboard.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on every smartphone, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free.
Gucci splattered all on the knickknacks. 50 racks, I'm about to break her off like a Kit Kat. Get a purse, got S, like the wheels on the back. I just don't familiar, but I still gotta say. Shorty know that I'm the realest, she know I be speaking facts. She know that I'm the same, that I was pushing cat. She know I got the game, but I'm never gonna give it back. Every time that we, I gotta run it back. Late at night, kiss me in the morning or late at night.
The lead up to 23 for USA on Argentina. Greg Popovich, after the loss to Australia, talking about the necessity of improving that three-point defense, and so far, so good for USA, Kara.
No, they've been more active. They've flown around a little bit more against Argentina on the defensive end. And when you're flying around a little bit more and you're challenging shots close, it's going to have an impact. It's going to have an impact on the shooting percentage. And a lot of deflections, even that play where it ends up being an open corner three, you see the extra effort by Beal on a couple times, right? Getting the deflection, but then also getting himself back into the play. So that's been good. I thought both teams needed a blow there before that timeout. I thought both teams were pretty tired. And now we'll see who can come out with some energy, some substitutions here for the USA with Darius Garland and Draymond Green into the game.
Here's Draymond, scooping to the hoop. Andrew high for the rebound. Scola gets fouled from behind by Levine.
Fouls on the United States number 5, Zach Levine. That's his third personal. USA basketball second team foul.
So Baku will throw it in. Turnaround doesn't go for Scola. Levine on the cut. Flush. Nice pass by Draymond Green.
Excellent job by Draymond. It's one of his strengths as a player, his ability to see the floor, anticipate, make smart decisions.
Scola backing down on Lillard and gets the roll through the rim.
Into the post. Golden State, the NBA runs a lot of that post split action. So Draymond very comfortable at home with that, and Levine with a nice hard aggressive cut. The athleticism of Levine on full display on that play.
3-point play opportunity here for Scola. Scola with 15 in this game. Hits it, and D'Elia will check in. For the Ageless Wonders, Darius Garland also comes into the game. USA offense sustained, efficient. 15 assists on 27 makes. Lillard contested. Cambaza. Brusino. As it hops out. Brusino, another guy with NBA experience for Argentinians play with the Hassan Mavericks.
Possession stays with the United States. 13 to shoot.
Well, Kara, so far so good for USA here in the second half. They had a 9-point lead at the half against Australia before the Aussies made their push. It was 16 at the break here, and they bumped the lead up so far. Garland, nice drive, but men at the rim. Green picking Vildoza's pocket. Facu diving to the floor and undercut Draymond there. How about that hustle?
So Draymond Green with the quick hands. Defensively, yep. Just get the piece of it. And Campazzo not happy with the call. I'm not sure why. He clearly tripped Draymond on his way to an open dunk.
See why Draymond, 6-time All-Defensive Player, 2017 Defensive Player of the Year. Garland off the Draymond screen, buries it. That's good team basketball. D'Elia rolling inside and one.
Kevin Durant, they don't bring an extra defender, but Draymond Green with a nice screen on Campazzo, and it gives Darius Garland an open look at the basket.
Number 22
Really nice screen set by Draymond. Garland, 40% three-point shooter with the Cavaliers this past season. So we see D'Elia at the line. Cheer professionally in Italy. Keldon Johnson trying to surge inside. And it's off him. Nope, off Argentina. What a pass inside. Johnson can't give him the assist, but he does get the 2 points.
So good. Kevin Durant, we see it on a nightly basis in the NBA, but just a complete offensive package.
Yeah, we don't talk enough about his passing just in general. I don't know how he saw him there. Garland steps back. Campazzo pushing the pace. Vildoza. And drills it over Draymond Green. Nicely done by Luka Vildoza of the New York Knicks. Bradley Beal to the hoop. D'Elia seizing the rebound. Argentina looking to end the third quarter on a positive note. This thing under 20. Still plenty of time. Make a move. Vildoza again. That was spicy. And a collision right at the foul line. Vildoza and Draymond Green.
Holds Draymond to the ground.
15 foul means Draymond shooting freebies. Durant gets a nice round of applause.
Argentina's in the penalty. Draymond Green at the line, shooting 2.
When we look big picture, we talked about the the U.S. playing a solid half last night against Australia. He's one of the best teams in the world. And now we're up to a solid 3 quarters.
Yep.
And so that's moving in the right direction. We'll see if they can put together the full game. But there are no shortage of challengers and contenders here in Las Vegas. The road doesn't get easier for them on the way to Tokyo, and I think that's a good thing because putting together 4 quarters versus the top teams in the world it's really hard to do. I mean, you're able to do that. You come away with the gold medal.
Exactly, and certainly steps in the right direction for USA here in Las Vegas. Might be a 19-point lead. Argentina is the number 4 team in the country, so you might think USA's making it look easy. They're doing it against a really good side. Juan Pablo Valette can't hit. A run out for USA. Levine, Garland for 2. Back up to 21. Brusino, nice bounce pass to Valette. A 5 to 6 second difference between the 2 timers. Beal operating, setting up Darius Garland. One last look here for Argentina. Ildoza to Campazzo, has to shoot it off 1 foot. Can't do it. 3 quarters in the books. So far, so good for USA. Up 19 on Argentina. Durant the 3. Bam in transition. Bradley Beal with a strong finish inside. We'll be back with the 4th. USA extending its halftime edge.
This is OnStar. We've detected a crash from your phone. Is anyone injured?
I don't think so.
Good. Help is on the way. Is there anyone I can call for you?
My dad.
Okay. I'm calling him now.
Where does Caleb Dressel draw his power? Is it from what we can see on the surface? Or from something deep within?
The City of Lights beckons as the tour reaches its stunning climax. The Tour de France on NBCSN and Peacock.
Unlock a summer of possibilities in a new Chevy. Expand your options and your perspective. Find your next adventure in a new Chevy.
Enjoy the open road and make no monthly payments for the rest of the summer on select popular Chevy SUVs. Plus, get interest-free financing for 72 months when you finance with GM Financial. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. Get free tips to help boost your retirement savings now at aceretirement.org.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your dog walker,
On your lap.
your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
A 19-point lead for USA as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Kevin Down alongside Kara Lawson and Zora Stevenson. And Kara, USA doing a great job scoring off screens here this afternoon.
Well, we've seen them execute in a variety of ways. There's hitting Bam Adebayo on the roll to the basket. The defender goes under on Lillard. He makes him pay with the jump shot. And then the split action off Kevin Durant, touching the basketball down in the post or just off the post. So that's what you want. You want to be able to execute in a variety of ways offensively. And you want to utilize all the players that you have, all the weapons that you have out on the court. You want to be able to utilize them. So all of those buckets, all those 3 highlights, 3 different guys scoring the ball for the USA.
Still time for Argentina to make a push here, but it's going to have to start soon. Up top, defender flies by. Kellen Johnson gets back to bother the Brusino attempt. Beal back from Draymond, and Beal will go to the line as he's hacked by Brusino.
We can go on down the list on the roster at who's looked better tonight versus the previous two nights. And I think Draymond's been excellent defensively, which we've come to expect from somebody that's just attacked that side of the floor at a high level. But certainly his passing, the way he's conducting the team from his position, I think he's played really well tonight on both ends.
He really has. And even though USA as a team perhaps didn't defend fantastically down the stretch against Nigeria and Australia, he did have some big defensive plays late in those games. We might not see a late game situation here for USA to improve in those tight scenarios, but overall, a really nice job here tonight by both Draymond and the team overall. Vitola on the drive, gets around Draymond, who chases it down from behind, blocks the shot, and that's a shot clock violation. It looked like Vitola had gotten around Draymond, but he made up for it with his length.
The Argentinian side complaining that the ball hit the rim. I didn't see it on that highlight.
I didn't see it either. And it will be USA basketball. Kevin Love back in for another tour of duty as Darius Garland goes to the bench. And Vitola fouling Beal on the inbounds pass. Here's Levine, gets around Brusino and throws it.
Wow. Zach Levine, the explosive athleticism. Yeah, you got to credit the courage here for challenging that, knowing that that's a probable outcome is to get dunked on with such force. Excellent play.
Juan Pablo Ballet just got put on the gram by Levine. And the free throw to boot. Rip through foul on Johnson on the floor.
Fouls on the United States, number 40, Kelvin Johnson. That's his second personal.
Lillard's going to get back in here for Draymond. He's had a great all-around game thus far. Bolmaro, the future Minnesota Timberwolves, throws it away. That's already the fourth team foul in Argentina. They are an aggressive team defensively. I mean, USA, the potential to shoot a lot of free throws here in the fourth quarter.
Well, you wonder if some of that's not just a little frustration.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened after, the great defensive possession by one of the fouls by USA. And then you have to temper that aggression with being smart too, right? Like aggression needs to be married with intelligence. You can't just do it without having some thinking going through it. And if you're trying to climb back, although it's probably a low chance that you come back in this game, certainly putting USA in the bonus is not going to be your way to a comeback.
Shooting free throws from here on out. Vitola hands it off. Late clock for Bolmaro. Sizing up Levine. Brusino has it knocked away by Beal. Nice touch pass into the corner. Keldon Johnson, no good. Dalia running the floor nicely, kind of snuck behind the defense and lays it in. Deal around the Love screen, pick and pop. This is what Kevin Love can provide in Tokyo. Not that time. Gets back and contests Ballet's shot well. 3-on-2. The alley-oop. Just a little too far off the mark for Keldon Johnson.
I think he's getting a little bit free and loose here.
Yeah.
On both ends.
22-point game in the fourth quarter of an exhibition contest. Yes, to be expected. Provitola on the drive. Bomaro, the escape, dribble, triple. Here comes Bill. Backing down Ballet. Brasino and help D. And now officially USA in the bonus. It was in the act anyway, so 2 free throws for Bradley Beal.
Oh, great patience by Bradley. It looks like he's got a cut on his hand. On his right hand. Might have been part of the foul when they raked down on him.
He's going to have to get that looked at.
Returning to the United States, number 9.
How have you seen him improve here in these 3 games in Vegas, Kara?
Well, I think what's natural is that when you're on a team with really talented players, is that you're not going to dominate in the way that you do with your own team. And I think this is true not just of Bradley. I think it's true of a lot of the players on the team. And so you're trying to figure out, hey, kind of where do I fit in? Where can I make an impact in the game? And so it feels like they're starting to figure that out amongst one another. And that's something that you can't just write down and say, hey, you do this, you do that. That's something you actually have to play and learn it in the midst of great competition. Not good competition, in the midst of great competition, you figure that stuff out. And, those 2 losses, I do think that they figured some things out. And that doesn't mean that they're done figuring stuff out. There's still more to figure out. But I think you can only do that when you're in the battle. Like, it's not something you can just do conceptually in a film session. It's something that you have to get through experience. And so I think all of them have looked more comfortable tonight. And it certainly helps when you're shooting, at the level that they're shooting in this game. But, I expected to see them continue to grow while they're here in Las Vegas. And to this point, they've done that.
Gill missing the first free throw. He's got 16. Sadiq Bey checking in for the first time in this contest. Had a great rookie season with the Detroit Pistons. First team all rookie for Detroit. Brasino, been a good shot creator for others on his team. Bomaro gets to the elbow and splashes it down. Love wants it. Beal getting around Dalia. Nice cut by Kevin Love. Good little 2-man game there.
Fouls on Argentina is number 9.
Hopefully there's some positive reinforcement, to the team and to the players. And obviously this is a group of hardened professionals. I mean, they've experienced losing streaks before. They've experienced tough times in their careers before. You don't make it to the level that they are at and not experience those types of things and know how to compartmentalize and know how to push through it. But it does feel good. It does feel good to have a solid performance. And to this point in the game, it's been that for the U.S.
So does a performance like this relieve the pressure at all a little bit going forward?
I don't know that it relieves the pressure. I think it just affirms that they're heading in the right direction and that there's still more work to do, but that that they're in a positive trend, and that's what I would say for this game and this potential win is that they're moving in a good direction.
D'Elia backing down the smaller Lillard. Saprovitola on a nice bounce pass, but it's Jeremy Grant sending Dorino going from behind with the block shot. Beal no. Good hustle by Sadiq Bey. Couldn't quite get there.
Second time this game, once in the first half, once in now the second half, Jeremy Grant has come from behind and erased the shot. Those type of plays, I mean, the crowd has gotten going here in this fourth quarter with a couple highlight plays. I mean, the Levine dunk and the Jeremy Grant block.
Olmano a three, knocks it down. Argentina within 20, still 5 and change to play. Good ball movement into the corner for Bay. Tapped out by Grant. Lillard. Vildoza. Little head fake. Can't run it home off the window. Lillard in attack mode. USA cooling off a bit here in the fourth. Just 7 points this period, but still up comfortably. They outscored Argentina in this period 7-6. Saprovitola now. Blocking foul on Grant. A 20-point lead for USA. A lot of highlights in this one. Perhaps none more impressive than this from Zach Levine. Punching it down on Juan Pablo Ballet. USA extending the lead in the fourth.
Elevate the game. NBA court optics and Microsoft let you see the floor like Jason Tatum. He knows that if he drives into the paint, the help defender could slide over and block his shot. So what's the move? Fake the drive. Step back for three. NBA court optics brings you inside the game.
Klay Thompson's out for the year. I don't even know what to say.
There's no precedent for a comeback like this. But the odds never stopped us before. No matter what the next day brings, we get up. We have to keep pushing forward. No matter how far we've been pushed back.
Whether you're curling or crunching, running or riding, lifting or lunging, balance it all out with some ice cold serving and enjoying.
Days, 11 hours, 13 minutes, and 15 seconds until the opening ceremony for the Tokyo Games. That's where the basketball will be played at Saitama Super Arena in Kara. Here's a look at the group that USA is in: Iran, France, and the Czech Republic.
Oh, France certainly a team that will challenge the U.S. in that pool, and Czech Republic had a great win in qualifying in Canada to secure their spot in the Tokyo Olympics. And you look at the opener for the men's senior national team against France. Challenging a lot. We talked about the NBA players all over the rosters in Tokyo, and certainly France has no shortage of impact players that play in the NBA.
France finishing in third of the 2019 FIBA World Cup, taking down Australia for third.
Fouls on Argentina.
Not an easy group, not going to be a cakewalk to 3 wins for USA. Group play a little different in this Olympics. Usually it was, in the past had been 2 groups of 6. Now it's 3 groups of 4, so fewer games to play in the preliminary round. Campazzo will throw it in for Argentina. Dalia. Back to Laprovitola. 5 to shoot for Nicolas Laprovitola. Got hacked in the act. In addition to the band block. So free throws coming up for the former San Antonio Spur.
Fouls on USA Basketball's number 4, Bradley Beal. His first personal. USA Basketball's 4th team foul. Nicolas
Laprovitola at the line for 2 free throws. His mother ran for president of Argentina in 2015. Did not win the vote. Got a little more than 3% of the vote. Don't cry for her, Argentina. The Laprovitolas doing well. A great professional career for Nicolas. Now 31 years old. And now free throws for USA. The foul on Laprovitola. Both teams be shooting freebies from here on out. Kara, what have you liked about Levine's progression as an NBA player?
The first thing I liked was his confidence. I mean, he plays with a great deal of confidence in himself and in his abilities, and you have to have that, and I think he's continued to grow as a player. So he came in with the athleticism being his most dominant trait as a player, and then it became scoring, and then he continues to evolve with playmaking and carrying a load last year that we hadn't seen him carry in terms of help leading a team to wins and being there every single night. And that culminated with an all-star appearance, which I thought was very well deserved.
Average career high 27 per game for the Bulls last year. They were in the playoff discussion for a good chunk of the season. There's Levine on cue, putting the lead back up to 22. Campazzo got poked in the eye potentially, or got hit somewhere on the face.
Foul on the United States number 4, Bradley Beal. His second personal.
Beal.
USA Basketball's 15th foul. Into the game for Argentina, number 15, Lautaro Banda.
Campazzo to the line, had a great career in Spain before making his way to the United States. Was considered a top 5 pick and roll player in the world at the time of his arrival with the Denver Nuggets. And here's Josh Majette, longtime G Leaguer. Also has some NBA experience, 26 games to match the number on his chest. Has played with the Atlanta Hawks and Orlando Magic. Adebayo. Knocked out by Campazzo. So 8 to shoot here for USA. Back out to Bay. Fouled on the 3 by Laprovitola.
That's on Argentina, that's number 8, Nicolas. That's his third personal.
Some unnecessary fouls on both ends here. And obviously the outcome's in hand. And, Van Adebayo and Zach Levine are going to get a well-deserved break. Solid performances by both of them tonight.
Bam got it started with that alley-oop. Put USA on the board, and they've been soaring since. So Love back in. Also in for the first time, John Jenkins, former first-round draft choice of the Atlanta Hawks back in 2012. Steve Bayes in his first couple of free throws. There was Jenkins. Ken's enjoying a good time. Getting out the Hot Wheels. Burrito. Blocked by Bay. Campazzo. Driving dish. Into the corner, and Campazzo a little strong. Josh Majette gets the screen. The fans want him to shoot. A deep one. He cashes it in. Josh Majette, a sniper in the G League for years, knocks it down. Campazzo, nice move, draws the foul on Love. Josh Majette giving the fans what they want, a deep three. Giving USA a 27-point lead, 98-71 with under 2 minutes to go.
This is tomorrow. Tomorrow, very early, someone will go on her first ever run. Right after, Shelly-Ann will run the 100 in under 10 seconds. By lunchtime, a shoe will grow from a seed. The WNBA will surpass the NBA in popularity. This tennis legend will launch her own video game. Also, tomorrow, we will all finally respect athletes' mental health. A woman will run a marathon on Mars. Tomorrow, we will celebrate new champions. And once sport is declared a human right, tomorrow will go really crazy. Marie Antoinette will score 7 in 7 minutes. Guy will land a 16-20. LeBron will score 120, and I don't know what this is, but it looks amazing. Of course, the internet will break. Well done, tomorrow. Can't wait to see what's next.
Hear ye, people and common folk, how I have ended up on this yoke. Before you stands the king's great jester, a starlight poet until yester. But all of a sudden, oh, what a drag, the king understood my every gag. This, of course, caused some commotion, all because of that one potion. At once his royal highness knew the joke's on him, and I was through. He drove me forth with arrows and slings. 'Twas then I knew Red Bull gave him wings.
Brought to you by Nike. Play new. Now, Kara, that is quite the car collection those kids have right there. Were you a car kid growing up? Did you like your Hot Wheels and Matchboxes?
I don't think I had too many of those. No, I think I just like to play basketball outside, man. That's what I did most of the time. Play outside with my friends, yeah. Yeah, a collection of there's some all-star dads.
Yeah, oh yeah.
To those young men down there at the end. Some good basketball genes playing with Hot Wheels right now.
That's for sure. Cam Reynolds is checked in. Campazzo is at the line. So has Dakota Mathias. There's Josh Majette. Two-time second-team All-G League throughout his career. He's also played professionally and helped Team USA before in AmeriCup qualifiers. So he has some Team USA experience. Going back door, that's Cam Reynolds, former Minnesota Timberwolf, Also played with the Milwaukee Bucks on a two-way contract. In San Antonio and Houston. He's been around the league a little bit. Provitola gets fouled. He's hit the century mark.
Great read. Defender gets above him and just back cuts towards the basket. Excellent find by Kevin Love.
Kevin Love, very solid passer. Provitola hitting the first of two.
You look at Argentina, and they had that heartbreaking loss against Australia. Patty Mills hits that shot late in the game, and then they got absolutely throttled by Nigeria just yesterday. And so now another sizable loss for Argentina as they continue to look to build. They'll continue to get better, just like all these teams will. But definitely two frustrating losses for their side. Just when you look at the size of the loss, right? I mean, they were dominated by Nigeria there in the second half, and the U.S. really from the start has had control of this game.
Yeah, lost to Nigeria by 23, 94-71, now down 29. Campazzo lets it rip. South of 60 to go in this one. John Jenkins on the lead pass from the Jet. The former first-round pick who played on a few different NBA teams, including the Knicks, the Hawks, Phoenix, Dallas, the Wizards. Also burying one for Argentina. Got to be a cool opportunity here for these select players to have a chance to play in an exhibition game or an Olympic tune-up. The likes of Matthias, who you see on your screen, have played on a two-way with Philly for a little bit of last season. Jenkins, Reynolds, and company. Guys who would help Team USA and World Cup qualifiers, America Cup qualifiers. John Jenkins buries a three. He was a sniper at Vanderbilt back in his day collegiately. Campazzo, nice pullback. Back-to-back threes for Facu. Shot clock's off. And looks like Majed will just dribble it out. Well, this is what the folks were expecting starting on Saturday. It took until Tuesday, but USA is victorious with the 108-80 triumph over Argentina. Kara, a much better performance. We've talked about needing to see improvement from game to game to game, and that's exactly what we saw from USA here today.
No, we saw tonight 3.5 quarters of really good basketball against a solid team in Argentina. So they have to feel really good. You see the smile on Greg Popovich's face. Feels good to be on the winning side of the outcome for the first time here in Las Vegas for the men's national team. And now two very tough opponents later in the week when you talk about the likes of Spain and you talk about the likes of Australia again. So some opportunities to continue to show growth and see if they can't do it against some of the best teams in the world.
It'll be Australia again on Friday, then Spain on Sunday, then it is off to Tokyo. Balanced scoring effort for USA basketball today. These five in double figures: Durant, Beal, Levine, Adebayo, and Lillard. All of them looking good. Durant and Beal leading the way with 17.
He is the best player on He is the best player on the US's team. Is going to have to carry the load offensively.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for USA basketball. Up next is Argentina, a side that is ranked 4th in the world according to FIBA. And Kara, they are led by the 10-year NBA veteran Luis Scola, the ageless wonder at 41 years young.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch Luis Scola, part of that golden generation in Argentina, and all of the experience that he's amassed, the competitiveness and what he's able to do. He does it a little bit slower these days, but he still has all of the smarts, all of the skills, ability to step outside and make the three-point shot, and the competitiveness. This is a proud basketball nation, Argentina, so you can expect them to come out with a great game plan and a great deal of confidence going against the USA.
They're led by Sergio Hernandez.